Okay. So I had asked about, the characteristics of Parsi food and how is it different from Gujarati and Iranian cuisine?
Yeah, sure. Definitely, we would love to explain you. As you know that we are first of all, we are minority community and we are 1300 years old. Okay. So the first thing is when it's a mix of two blend like India and Persia. Okay. And a little bit of Iranian food as well has been included into it. So the style is basically a Persian and the blend is of the delicacy and the blend is of India.
Okay. So, I mean, how would you say that the delicacy and the blend, as in the spices that are used are Indian?
Or the ingredients?
Yeah, the ingredients, yes. The ingredients, definitely ingredients like, I'll give you an example. So meat and everything is from from Iranian style of the meat and all it has come from there. And then we have again, as we said that when we came to India, that we have been blend with Indian food. So the Gujarati taste like dal, rice, pulses, which have been taken over from there, and it has been blended to a Parsi cuisine.
Okay.
Can you give examples of some dishes which have
Dhansak is one of them.
Dhansak.
Yeah. Then we would even say patrani machi.
So patrani machi fish, I think, is Iranian influence, of
Yes,
course.
there are a lot of people eat a lot of food. They go with a lot of patrani machi. Okay, they want fish in all other. Basically, Parsis love fish. That is the main thing.
Okay.
And what is the Gujarati influence there in patrani machi?
Chutney.
Chutney.
The tangy,
the sweetness.
The khatta mitha, the sweetness of it is.
The Parsi food is little bit of on a sweeter side and on tangy side as well.
Okay.
So Gujarati food also, I think that it's a good mix because Gujarati food is also sweet.
Exactly, right.
So,
like certain things, even we like. I'm just giving an example like achar. Let's come to an achar. I'll give an example of achar. Like they also have that murabba, chundo, but we have like prawns ka achar. We have bombil ka achar. Like we say tarapuri patio is like Bombay dry ducks pickle.
We have gajar
mevanu achar. So we make with gajar and dry fruits. But it's like in Gujarati terms, you can say gajar and dry fruit ni chutney, but we say gajar nu achar.
Yeah, khattu mittu achar.
Yeah, lagan nu achar. Like because it goes in all Parsi weddings, we do a lot of lagan nu achar. We say lagan nu achar. So it's like lagan nu custard. So it's now lagan nu achar as well now.
Okay.
What about dhansak? Dhansak again. The original dhansak was without vegetables or?
No, it was known as khoret. In Iran, it is known as khoret spinach. So the lentils and everything is mixed with spinach, but it is the similar dish. It's not exactly dhansak.
Okay, but these dishes, would we still find them in Iran as well? There are outlets that would be serving.
But today you will find dhansak in London also.
No, I'm talking about the typical, the cuisine that Parsi cuisine that we know it, or is it still there in Iran?
No, it has been adopted in India. It's not from Iran, but it is a touch of Iran to it. Okay. I just said there is a dish known as khoret espinage. So it is basically a lentil with spinach and everything. The same way the dhansak dal is made with pumpkin and aubergine and everything. So it's a similar dish to it.
Okay. All right. So Vanshika, could you tell us a bit about the Banuwal cuisine and how is it different from, is it different from the cuisine in Pakistan and even here the Punjabi food? Are there differences there?
It is very similar, but there are some differences in the way that it is cooked and the time that the timings of how you cook it and what you put when in the oil, or how you kind of finish the dish, and what you eat it with. So there are a lot of differences there, and also because Bannu is a very arid region, so there weren't a lot of vegetables available there. So there's a lot of lentil and dry fruits and meat that is there in the cuisine. And only when that's what my Dadi tells me that only when they shifted here to India and to Kanpur, that's my Kanpur is my birth city, and that's where my father was also born, and that's where my grandfather migrated to the family. Because that is besides Ganga, there were a lot of vegetables that are readily available there. That is how it kind of changed a little bit when it came to India. That even if we're having meat, we'll add a little bit of lauki or tori or arbi, whatever vegetable is in season, or palak, and we make it with that. Also to kind of increase the quantity a little bit, because they left everything there and they came, and there were big families to feed. And also because it now that has become the new normal, and that has become the actual cuisine.
But
Okay.
Pakistani cuisine and Punjabi cuisine both are very rich, Vanchika. How does Banuwal cuisine compare with them? Is it
But our cuisine is not rich at
not
all.
rich?
No, we don't use a lot of nuts, and any rich thing. We usually use a lot of whatever is available, lentils and dry things that you can actually preserve in your homes. Because Bannu was a forted area. It was inside four walls, and a lot of the times when the riders, Dakus, as my daddy says, from Afghanistan would come on their horses. They had to, quickly close the doors of their houses, quickly close the doors and stay inside, and they wouldn't know for how long they would be inside. So they always had food that was dry and that they could cook at home. So it's not a lot of fresh ingredients or rich ingredients.
So do you still, continue to do that? Lots of items that you keep dried up for use whenever you need?
Yeah, so there is dal vadi which is there, which is dried in the sun. So you soak the lentils and you make the mixture with spices, and then you put dollops on a sheet and you dry it under the sun, which is then stored in the dry storage area. It does not need to be put in the fridge, and then we rehydrate them and use them with a potato curry. And then there's a lot of preserves also, achars and all of that, that are made and kept, so that you just have maybe like a roti or and achar and some green chili.
Yeah.
That sort of cuisine is there. There's also dried yogurt wadis that are there. So when you make buttermilk, you have some leftover milk solids that are there. Those are also dehydrated under the sun, and then that you can rehydrate and use as curry. It's also very nutritious. It gives you a lot of energy and is also zero waste.
Okay.
I can't believe that buttermilk can have waste, huh? So that's very interesting. Buttermilk buddies.
Yeah, it's very tasty, very tangy.
Okay. Wow. So I guess that's the historical influence on the cuisines, no? That they came and then they kind of adopted and adapted differently. So Hila and Shahzad, if I can ask you that, in a Parsi household, how important is cooking? I mean, is there a lot of culture of, people doing cuisines? Let's say on the weekends or something, families get together, sit together, eat.
Can we just repeat the question? The voice was cracking. Sorry.
Okay. I was asking that, in a Parsi household, how important is food and cooking? Over the weekends, do families get together? Do they cook? Do they eat
Yeah,
together?
of course, of course.
There is this whole tradition that you have.
Every Saturday, Sunday, there are parties in Parsi households, It's like that.
Okay.
So basically, the head of the family, that is the mother and the father, they both create the menus for the parties,
Okay.
And mainly they are starters and patties, keemana kebab, dan sak, curry chawal, machi, jinga, you name it and it is there.
Because
Very elaborate.
Parsi can't live without egg. That is one thing for sure.
Meat and
Okay.
eggs are the most important in Parsi life.
Okay.
And alcohol, definitely, yes. I would love to say.
But we can't say we are in Gujarat.
Yes,
Just kidding.
Gujarat is a dry state where you're.
Yeah,
Right,
right.
right.
But just 12 kilometers, we have
Supposedly it's
Daman
dry,
nearby.
you know.
But yes, Parsi food is very important. I would say definitely every household, like I do every weekend's menu, right? So I will make sure that every Sunday there has to be a dhan saag, there has to be a palau dal. You know, it's like a traditional kind of a thing. Like people like
Yeah.
to have dhan saag on Sunday with kebabs. They would like to have sali chicken, sali margi, you know, kitkosh, atheli margi, like this kind of like proper unique taste. Like today, a lot of chefs have already been trying to get into Parsi food as well in Bombay. Like as I am doing, I see a lot of menus coming out, you know, like what people want to do. They want to try something new in the market. And
Yeah.
yes, that's how the food, and now slowly, I think the Parsi food is picking up in the market. Slowly. The first, it was just like, you know, like we had old cafes in Bombay. Like we have like Sasanian, like which is shut. Then we had
Kiani.
Kiani, you know, those kind of cafes used to serve little bit of Parsi food. But now I think a lot of people are interested in getting into Parsi food.
But
Mhm.
Shizad, when you say cafes, is there a distinction between Iranian and Parsi cafes? Iranian.
Basically,
Hmm,
uh, Iranis were only having the cafes.
okay.
Basically,
It's always known as Iranian cafe. It's not known
Yes.
as Parsi cafe.
okay. So basically, only Iranis were only owning the cafes, like Britannia's,
Sasanians,
Ideal,
Ideal.
Mogambo. Iranian, but the owners are the Iranians.
Okay. And the food they serve?
Food they serve Iranian as
And
well as
Parsi.
Parsi food.
Yes. Because Britannia is more famous for its Parsi food. You know,
Yeah, like berry
berry
pulao.
pulao. Yes,
Berry
berry
pulao.
pulao is.
Berry pulao is basically, I'll tell you, the berry pulao is basically it's known as Zarish pulao, and that is actually adapted from Iran.
Okay.
It is not a Parsi dish, I would say. It's an Iranian dish which we have got it to India and we have tried to get into the Parsi cuisine.
Okay. All right.
I think you should, the food should spread more over to other parts of India, because I'm based in Jaipur, and I don't think we have any Parsi outlet here.
I would love to serve you.
Yes,
Definitely,
I
I would
would
love to
really.
serve you. I would love to serve you.
That's the whole
Sure.
idea behind Cafe Farohar and Farohar Caterers, no? To serve a
But
larger.
that's what my concept is today. Yes, I would definitely. I'm proud to say that I've started this. Whatever I've done, it's just very small cafe. But yes, I still feed around 600, 800 people a day, and it makes my day. And now I have, because of COVID, I came to Bombay and I just started my home kitchen. But now I'm getting more, little bit, not I would not say greedy, but I still want to give the authenticity what I'm giving in Udwara. I would love to give this taste to Bombay.
Yeah. True.
Like we cook it on wood fire. Okay, it's not just gas all the time. When you cook food on wood fire and when you cook food on gas, it's completely different. The dansak dal which you cook on wood is completely different compared to cook on your stove.
True. That's
Yeah,
true.
for sure. Even for us, the difference between cooking on gas and then difference between cooking, we have a really thick roti that we do. It's called nagan. It's fermented. For the
What is it called, Vanchika?
nagan? Nagan. It's fermented for a day, and then if you cook it on slow heat and on firewood, then the flavor is completely different.
Completely different.
Cooked on the
So you also cook on wood, is it? The dishes? Vanshika?
It's not done a lot now, but yes, coal mostly, not wood too much, but
Okay.
coal, like the chula that is
But
there made with mixi
uh,
and coal.
but today's time, even in weddings and all, when I do catering, we still cook on wooden flame. Okay, we still take that triangular chula, we put lakda underneath and that big patila going on it, you know.
Right.
So till the we have I'm just doing next month, I'm doing some wedding function. So I was just thinking about it and it just came out. Okay, we still cook on wooden flame. We still go by the wood.
Hmm.
Even
Very
the
nice.
chapatis we cook on, it is on the tawa, but it's still underneath the wood, and it makes a lot of difference when you cook it. Like for around 200 people, 300 people, 1,200 people, when you do that kind of cooking on wooden flame, it's very different.
Right.
Yes.
Vanchika, how important is food in Banuwal culture? Is it like on weekends it's a big feast, or how is it?
Since I remember, since my father remembers, Sunday is Rajma Chawal Day for us. But also every occasion we do gather and we do have a big feast with the entire extended family also coming. It, it even if it was Christmas or Rakhi or Diwali or anything, we have a big feast with the entire family, and it's the amount of laughter and gossip that happens around food is amazing, and everybody loves food. There's nobody in our family who doesn't like food, and they love to eat, and they all have very heightened senses about they can just smell from far away and tell what exactly is cooking, and what have you put in it and the salt is less. So everybody is extremely they're big foodies, all of us.
But Vanshika, do you still have a family in Pakistan? You have some,
All of everybody came.
everybody is migrated to India.
Everybody's back. But when I started posting about Banwali cuisine, I started getting a lot of messages from Pakistan that people who live in Bannu. And then we also saw a video of a man who showed the Bhatia, I think it was Bhavan house, Bhatia Bhavan. That's still
Okay.
there over there. So that was very exciting that
Yeah.
it's there. And then there are also some food things that are still served in Bannu that we have here.
So the story we did, Vanshika, on Banuwal
Yes.
cuisine, it got so many comments, and somebody from Pakistan wrote that that penda chicken that you have, no,
Yes,
that is still famous in Banuwal.
yes,
Yeah.
So it's still quite popular, and people were offering to send photos from Banuwal.
Yes.
So that story is a hit both in India and Pakistan.
yes.
I
Even
saw that
when
too.
even at together, a lot of older couples would come and they would recognize that dish on the menu. That, oh, this is they would be taken back to those days, and they would recognize that name. Be very excited about that fact that this is something that we haven't seen in what 75 years.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about Andi Kukdi, that famous dish?
So Andi Kukri is basically a black pepper broth with broken roti in it and lots of ghee. It's basically it's a stew, and what my nanaji said that when they didn't have a lot of money, or when they traveled, their mom would just ask them to close their eyes and imagine that it's chicken. So cooker is chicken. So it's a sad story, but it's something that is even now, when they can afford whatever, but even till date they have that taste in them, and they still like to have it maybe once a month or twice a month, because it's something that is nostalgic to them.
Okay. All right. So, Shahzad, you of course are, well-known chef, but do men in Parsi families, are they fond of cooking generally?
Yeah, I would say yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Basically, I'm not making fun or something, but I'll just say, at least as I just told you before also, boss, tea and egg, definitely for sure.
Okay.
Like
Right.
sali paridu, papeta paridu, tamota paridu, you just akuri, then your lila lasan nu idu. Basic egg dishes are definitely men will make. And there are, yes, but there are a lot of chefs in the market today. Yes, not just home, but I'll say there are a lot of chefs who have taken initiative to come with the Parsi food.
Right.
Vanchika, in your
And
household,
Vanshika, how about the Bannu family?
men, role of men?
Sure. So everybody loves to. Even my own father, he loves to come back from the office and then tell us from before that this is what he wants to cook, and he'll come back and he'll cook. That's his kind of stress buster and relaxing.
Wow.
Day. He loves to do that, and my mom does not like to cook. She's here online. Yeah, and even in Bannu, that's what my nanaji used to say, that meat was not allowed to be cooked in the house, and the women would not cook meat. They would only cook vegetarian food. So if they wanted to have meat, if the men wanted to have meat, they would buy everything. They had their own utensils, and they would go to their workplace and to their shop or wherever, and they would cook it there, clean the dishes there, and have everything prepared there and eat it there, and then come back home. And if it was cooked at home, then the dishes were cleaned properly with ash and stone before being used for vegetarian food.
Okay.
But Shehzad, aren't there many Parsi men who are cooking? Most of the chefs that I hear of are non-Parsis or learning about Parsi cuisine. No?
I just said that yes, not everybody has. Means like it depends upon a person also, right? Like it's my passion, so I am doing this. I'm a French chef as well, but now my main forte has become a Parsi food. Yeah. Though I am Parsi, I'm not just saying because I'm Parsi, but as I just said, I'm a French chef. But now, as basically a lot of, I would say, ke, yes, there are non-Parsis who want to learn Parsi dishes, but then but don't take me wrong when I say this, but then the authenticity is not there. They exactly don't know what they're doing. They want to learn, but they don't know what they're doing. So like,
what is your source of recipes? I mean, of course, Hila ma'am knows a lot of them.
yeah, but she's been doing
the
this
biggest
from
source.
30, no.
42 years.
She's been doing this from 42 years. Let's be honest. And when I was in school, she used to get up by morning 3 o'clock. What I am doing right now in Bombay, she used to do the same thing 35 years back. And I used to help her to do cutlets and patties at that time when I was in school, when I was in 4th standard.
Wow. So Hila, just tell us a bit, how did you start?
Basically, I was a home science student in my school. I was a boarder in Avabai Petit School. In the year 1979-80, I passed out. Then there were no options for me. So I started a small catering business to help my parents. My parents were not that well-to-do. So I jumped into it and I started my dabbas. At that time, I just started with 15 dabbas. Gradually, I went to 150 dabbas.
Okay.
Then I got married, I got Shehzad, and gone on and on and on. Till now, I am still cooking. I am 59 years of age.
Wow.
So you can count my span from 18 to 59.
Yeah.
I've not stopped in between. So the taste of my food is the taste.
Yes, lovely.
What about Shehzad? What about the popularity of Parsi cuisine in Bombay? I think you are now catering to a lot of people, right? You're talking about
I do.
cloud kitchen.
Yes, I do. Yes, it's not basically a cloud kitchen; it's a very small kitchen. What I do. Even this New Year's, we did around 286 orders, and the food was delivered all over the Mumbai. It was a set meal, basically like Navroz and all what we do. And it was been delivered to Vashi, it was delivered to Chembur, it was been delivered to Thana. So, and we are at Nepean Sea Road. But then, yes, I have a very big vision in Bombay right now. Yes, I am looking for something coming up big in Bombay. Definitely not a restaurant. This is not the time to open a restaurant for me at least, but I would definitely open an outlets where I want to do a cloud kitchen kind of a thing. So it should be a centralized kitchen, and we could have one in Bandra, one in South Bombay, one in Chembur, like where people want. Like today, people ask me, they call me, Shehzad, will you send this food at Vashi? I said yes, but I'll do beef. I'm just giving an example. I'll do beef fast, but that's chargeable. So I want to make my life, not my life easy, but my client's life easy by saying that, no, I would not charge you for delivery. I don't want that small thing, it pinches to people. अरे यार delivery मारता है यार, इतना दूर तक भेज रहा है, फिर भी delivery मारता है. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
then I do understand, but then it's not me because I can't go till Vashi or Chembur.
True.
So that's where we get stuck sometimes. And yes, sometimes we have to say no to clients when they get disappointed with us at this situation.
Vanshika, how was the response to Banwal food you had introduced in your restaurant last year or last year? What was the response like?
The response was really good. It was something new for people who the Banwal community is not something that people know about at
Hmm.
all. Like nobody knows about it. So when I was talking about it, so it was something new. So it intrigued people and other people whose grandparents, and we had a lot of clientele which were older people who knew about the region. So they were very excited about the dishes coming on board. And even when I was doing some videos, I did some videos, I posted about it online, and I started this page. So a lot of people got very excited and they started sending in their recipes as well. That this is what we were doing, this is what we do and our mother do and our grandmothers do. So people kind of started looking at it as a real culture and a real cuisine and not just dismissing it like it's nothing. So I think it kind of awakened a lot of our society that this is something that we need to be proud of and not something that we should just dismiss.
So how are you?
So just one related question I just want to ask for both of you, for Parsi as well as Banu cuisine, that because Shahzad made this point that when others do Parsi cooking, they're really not aware what they're doing. Authenticity suffers, right? But then considering that, it's a small population for both the communities.
The minority community.
When you want to, when you want to, preserve it and promote it, if you think that others will not do justice, you can document, of course, like, Vanshika is documenting, but how do you take it forward? Will it'll just be limited, like we are saying Bombay, yes, of course, Parsi cuisine, but let's say when I was talking about in other cities, if other people wanted to kind of have,
Right.
or Banu cuisine for that matter, how do you, reach out to a larger audience?
Basically, I had just started in COVID situation. I had just started online classes with Parsi food. Okay. And I used to do from Udwada itself. But then
Okay.
again, we had a bad time. So I had to move to Bombay. But this is what my aim is, that I want to start classes. I want people to know what authentic Parsi food is. Like it's a very small thing, but that's how I can pass on the message. Because when I started a video with my mom, so we used to get very good responses. Like people from US, abroad, people used to follow us. They are awake at that time over there to follow this show. So we had got very good response, and yes, we are planning, and I am at least definitely planning to make a Bible, and there is a recipe. I'm planning to do a recipe book as well. Okay, things are in process. I'm getting stuck at somewhere, but yes, I would definitely want to make a Bible for people who really can get into Parsi food, though they are not Parsi or they are Parsi.
Okay. And
Vanshika,
Vanshika?
you plan anything like that?
Right now, the main aim is to not let the culture die.
Yeah.
So it is within the community only right now, so that people of our generation are also kind of being proud of it and still understand the language and still know the foods and the cultures and the traditions that are there. And then maybe let's see how it pans out, and if I want to kind of expand and promote it more. But right now, the main aim is to not let it die.
But are you also doing any online classes? No?
No, not right now. No.
Okay.
What about the language? It's called Bannu language, right?
It's called
Is it-
Banwali.
Banwali. Okay. How different is it from other language? Like you're talking of not letting the language also die.
It's a mix of Punjabi and Pashto. It's like it's a mix.
Okay, Pashto that's spoken in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's a mix
In
of
parts of Pakistan also. No?
yes. In parts of Pakistan, in Bannu, it's still
Bannu
spoken.
region, yeah, that
But
northwest.
it's very close to Afghanistan. So the
Yeah, the border.
yes, the border.
All right. So, could we know from, both of you that what are your favorite dishes, or what are your favorite top 3 or top 5 dishes that you would say you really enjoy cooking or eating?
I would say it's going to be never ending. Yeah. We
So
have,
5, we want just 5.
you want my top 5 recipes, or you want the top 5 recipes of the restaurant? What dish? What
Both,
exactly?
both.
Yeah.
I don't know. It would be two different things. Then it would be a 10 dishes if I would say that.
We'll do it. Why not?
Okay, so then, yes, please go ahead.
Definitely, we'll be coming up with certain names where people will not understand. Okay.
You can
Like,
explain a bit.
yes, I
Hmm.
will definitely do that, because a lot of people are dependent only on dhansak and pulao dal and sali chicken. So there are other dishes. Then, okay. So we begin with tapeli kebab. Okay, it sounds very strange, but tapeli means patila. Okay, but little bit of
Okay.
curved kind of a patila. Okay, and it's used with we use ghee to it. We use jeera. We use turmeric. Basically, it's a potato straw with meatballs.
It's
It's
only
just a
potato with meatballs.
yeah.
Okay.
It's a very unique thing. It's known as tapeli kebab.
Okay.
Okay, then definitely dhansak, I would say one, because people
Yeah.
here come for dhansak. Okay, then definitely chicken farcha. It's like
What
a
is that?
KFC, a Parsi KFC, I would say. Yeah, yeah, sort of part. See, I'm making it easy. I'm making it easier for you.
No,
guys.
that's good. Everybody can understand them. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Then a very good dish. What we do, basically I do it when I do it in Udwada, when we do lagan, basically weddings and navjots over here. So it is very renowned, known as bhaji dana gosh.
Okay.
Bhaji Dana Ghosh.
Bhaji dana gosh. So
Okay.
dana is watana basically. Okay,
Green peas.
green peas.
Hmm.
Bhajis are like chauli, palak, lot of corianders, lot of greens. Okay, some fried onions, ghee again, and mutton.
Okay.
Okay, so that is again very famous. Then, mummy, what else?
Chicken mai wala.
Chicken maiwala.
Okay.
So basically, in another language, they say chicken na resa par idu.
Margina resa par edu. That is shredded chicken made in white sauce
Some dry fruits,
Okay.
and then baked with the eggs in paridu. That's
So we-
paridu.
like how it is sali par idu, bida par idu. So same way it is
But the name is chicken maiwa.
chicken maiwala.
That
It's a
sounds
very
so
rich
rich.
delicacy.
Yeah.
It's very rich. It's very rich. Then definitely I would say lagannu custard. I can't forget that.
Hmm.
It's a dessert.
It's a dessert, but we say lagannu custard. Okay, so again, it's nothing but lot of uh, uh, cream, milk,
Mawa,
dry fruits, mawa. We just keep cooking it. Then we pour egg into it. Once it gets cooled down,
then bake.
we mix it, and then we bake it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's known as
Right.
lagannu custard.
So it
Then we
doesn't
said
have custard powder. It doesn't have custard powder or anything.
no,
Just-
not
no,
at
no.
all.
Hmm.
We keep burning the milk till it gets brown.
It should be half.
Not rubbery. It's not
Hmm.
kind of a
Not
rubbery.
rubbery.
Not rubbery. And then I would say here we get Indian mullet. Okay, it's known as Indian mullet, which we say boy.
It's
Okay.
a fish.
It's known as boy. So when people come to Udwada, it is like a must. They have to have boy, otherwise Udwada trip is not completed if you don't have the boy.
And raspberry soda.
And then coming to raspberry soda.
Oh, that is the ultimate. I think.
Yeah, without raspberry, Parsi food has no end.
Again, egg, raspberry soda, boy, lagannu custard. If people don't have it, the food is not completed.
Who's making raspberry soda? You guys get it in a bottle, no?
Yeah, now
Is
we
it?
have a local company over here. It's a local
Okay.
vendor known as
Soldier or Santa.
Soldier or Santa. It's like
And in Bombay?
Dukes.
now it's Palanji, Rogers. First
First
Dukes was
Dukes.
there.
Okay. So
So now
lots
it's
of.
Palanji and Rogers.
That's not something you make in-house.
I would love to, but I really don't have to do that. Then, mom, what else? Palau dar, as I said, palau dar, belly palau dar.
We have ravo sev. Ravo is suji.
Like
Suji
shira,
ka
like how
halwa.
you can make shira,
Hmm.
but we make it in the milk. We don't make it in the
In water.
water.
Okay.
And then the same thing, we have vermicelli, which is known as saganni sev. So every birthday or functions, we do make that. It's a roasted sev. Okay. We use ghee, water, some vanilla essence, and some nutmeg and cardamom.
No
Right.
milk.
No milk.
No milk. Then
That
it
is-
goes to sheer kurma.
Ajay, that is sheer kurma.
Yeah, that is sheer kurma. And then again, but it's again, and we use mittu dahi, mitha dahi,
Sweet curd.
but we say mittu dahi. So it's a combo of saganni sev ne mittu dahi. That's how they say.
So basically, it is save in sweet curd.
No. It's
No.
a separate, two separate, but it's a combo.
Okay, you serve it together.
So it's known as saganni sev.
With mithu dahi.
So it's on birthday or some auspicious day. It is must at Parsi's house.
Okay.
Compulsory either ravo or sev would be made.
And dandar patya.
And dandar patia, definitely.
Dandar kolmino patya. That's that yellow dal with white rice. And khatta mitha tikka patya with prawns or fish.
Wow.
Wow.
It's never ending, guys. It will keep going. It will keep going.
Yeah, seems like given that it's a
Lovely.
small community, your cuisine is very rich.
No, but at our menu at cafe, we have around 360 dishes.
Wow.
You all should visit us.
Yes. I
My
think
God.
it will be my pleasure if you come from Rajasthan over here. It will be my honor to
Yeah.
serve you. Okay, and a stay on me. But
Yeah,
you'll
we
have
will
to
do
come.
it.
Thank you so
for
much.
Really. You should
Now,
come.
once
I'll
this
definitely-
COVID is over, I think
Yes.
Yeah, you
We
should.
definitely make a plan.
A lot of people come over here. I would not take name, but a lot of chefs also come here to meet us. But then they also get shocked when they see this kind of.
Hmm.
Vanchika?
So, you should definitely, Shahzad, you should definitely document this. And I mean, it definitely should be preserved. Yeah. You have so much of rich,
Yeah, I know,
heritage
I
with you.
know. I had done a Honda shoot also. I had done a Honda shoot for someone. Again, that lady, she's a good photographer and she makes book. She gets into book and all. Her name is Mamta. So she
Hmm.
was behind me. Shahzad, please do the recipe book. You have such lovely
Yeah.
recipes.
Yes.
She pushed me also. I started also.
Yes.
But then I got a bit worried. Yeah. Then, will book go? Will book sell? It's just, I know what you're trying to tell me to serve to sort the purpose is just to save the recipes, that people
Yes.
follow. But let's see.
No,
Hoping
so
for the
now you're
best.
a celebrity chef, yeah, you can, happily sell your book with your this thing, cuisine.
Tell,
I have
tell-
already done that for Honda. I've already done that for Honda. With food in my
Okay.
hand, yeah.
Vanchika, we have someone with you.
Yes, that's my chachi.
Hello.
Hi,
She was giving me some insights,
welcome.
more insights.
Yeah, she must be having more information about.
Yes, about your.
Her
So,
mom-
what would you say for you? For you all, what are your, favorite dishes and?
Or rather, important dishes which are made on
Yeah.
all festivals or get-togethers or very popular.
But as she said, everyone at home is foodie. Not even a single person or generation is there. And then they can smell the food from outside also. Till they come inside, they can make out what is being cooked and what ingredients and what flavor it is. It's sweet or
Right.
and
favorite dish.
favorite. वैसे तो everything is favorite. जो they are going for revival project. Everything you cannot make out that this is not good or that is good. But the quickest and tastiest are peely dahi that we cook our normal curd with lots of garlic and jeera, cumin seeds and haldi.
You don't put besan in that?
Okay.
No, we just beat curd and put it in that
And
chokka.
kasuri methi, and it splits. So that is what we want. We want that chewiness of that split dahi.
With curd.
And the water is separate, so you don't add anything else. It's just the
Lumps.
lumps
Lumps of
of curd and the water that separates, and it's very tasty with roti or anything.
Okay.
Okay.
And that is basically done with broken pieces of chapati and lots of ghee, desi ghee on it, and we pour over peeli dahi on it, and then that's the complete meal.
Okay. Pili dahi.
Peeli dahi, yeah.
Okay.
Because of
What
turmeric
else?
it becomes yellow, no? And I really like tukkar, which is a day old or 2 day old rotis, which are just kept in the fridge, cooked like a sabzi with lots of onion and ginger, garlic, and some tomato. So that is something that I really like. If we have it for breakfast with lots of dahi.
We specially make and keep chapatis prior, 1 day prior to it. It's our menu. Tomorrow we are going to make tukkar. So make some extra chapatis. And next day, this is what we have with curd.
So it started with not wasting rotis and using it the next day for breakfast if we have some left over. But now it's become a staple in the cuisine.
Yeah.
It started from survival and it's become a cuisine. And then we also have chicken. It's the chicken version of andi kukri, where you actually, when you have chicken, you actually put chicken and lots of black pepper and some yogurt and whole spices like black cardamom and green cardamom and yogurt and kasuri methi. Yeah, and ghee. So that is the chicken version of andi kukri, where you actually have that. When you actually have that. And then for dessert, we have dodi ka halwa, which is basically you take suji and you soak it, and the water that comes, and then you strain it, and the water that is there, you make halwa with that water. So it's
Okay.
it's the
Roast.
what? Yeah, you cook the halwa with sugar. So it's that is something that is
Will
there
be
in
lumpy
dessert.
with that.
Yeah, it
Even
becomes
that gets lumpy
yeah,
with
it becomes
ghee
lumpy
and sugar.
because of all the gluten that's there in it. And then
Something like Karachi halwa, no? That is also
similar,
made.
yes, similar. So same,
Influence.
yeah, influence. Then we also have, as Chachi mentioned, you take paratha and you put some malai and you put sugar.
No. We stuff the paratha.
Yeah. You stuff
We
this
stuff the
in.
paratha with sugar, and we उसको पकाते हैं तवा-
Hmm.
तवा.
And when you serve it with malai.
It's caramelized paratha, and ऊपर से you put malai,
Malai, yeah.
which thoda balances the sweetness of the paratha and caramelized paratha and malai. That is the combination.
And also the roti with good in it.
Yeah.
That's
Roti
the-
and curd.
to hot roti, you pour some ghee, lots of
Not
ghee, and jaggery, and you roll it up so the jaggery kind of melts in the roti because it's so hot, and you have that.
And it's Vanshika only who gave it a new name when she was very small.
Acha.
Dadi used to feed them with lots of ghee, and she said, "Dadi, isme kya hai?" So Dadi said, "It's a secret." So she kept the name of that.
I
food
thought
a
it's
secret.
called. I thought it's called.
She
secret.
thought that it's
Yeah.
called secret.
So yeah.
Till date, she says, "I want to eat secret sometime."
So it's all very simple. Not a lot of dishes, but it's a lot of roti, a lot of ginger garlic in the cuisine. So things that are that can be kept. So
So, the dishes are not very time consuming to cook.
no,
They are done quickly.
Very
Very
quickly, very instantly, and you can you can entertain your guest anytime.
Mhm.
Any time of the
Right.
hour that क्या बनाए तो पीली दही बना लो और साथ में ये बना लो, बस हो जाता है.
I think that would appeal to people, because nobody wants to spend long hours in the kitchen. Jaldi ho jaye to everybody's happy, okay?
Yes, Urvashi.
And many
Very true.
people asked the recipe for chili dahi ki batao kaise bana tha, bahut acha tha.
Yes.
But Hilda ma'am spends a lot of time in the kitchen. She grinds her own masala still.
We make our own masala.
She sources the ingredients.
Yeah.
We have our own machineries to do it, because I think we started by using, you know, by our own stuff slowly. When you purchase from outside and when you do your own stuff, it makes a lot of difference.
True.
Not cost wise,
Yes.
but the flavor wise.
Yeah, you
Yes.
get ready-made dhana jeera.
We
You-
make our own dhana jeera
You
powder.
won't believe I must be using half dana jeera, half whole dana and half
Jeera.
whole jeera. I approximately say 40 kgs of dana, matlab 20 dana and zero.
It's 20-20 ratio. Okay.
So I do it like that. But when I asked the man who was preparing dana jeera, my vendor, in front of me, he took 20 kgs of dana and 1 kg of jeera. And I was surprised.
It's mixing basically. That's what she's trying to say. The ratio is not proper.
So you don't get the
Yes.
taste of that dana jeera. You get me? People buy masalas from me.
Right.
We sell our masalas. We sell our own masalas.
I
We
have
sell-
my own dansak masala, my own sambar masala. Parsi sambar I'm talking about, not that idli sambar.
Mm.
Then we have got our curry paste,
we have our
dry curry masala,
sali chicken paste.
garam masala. We do all types of masala.
Only the thing is we don't have time. Otherwise, we would have sell our masalas while branding names also. But we really don't have time to do that.
So you aren't selling at all, or you're selling small packets?
No, no,
We
we
sell
do
from
it.
here.
We
when
sell
people
it
come
from
to
here.
cafe.
Yeah.
Or
Sell
when I'm
only
like,
from the restaurant.
no. But like if I come to, like today I'm in Udvada, right? So tonight I'll be leaving. So people give orders. Ke Shahzad ye leke aayega. I said, yeah, I'll
So
get
I
it for
send
you.
it across.
So
So
then
he takes it.
then I take.
It's like that.
So it's like not proper packaging we have started, but that also I want to. That is one of my thing as well.
But that will take little time, but we will surely do it.
So actually, I just did want to ask about, your future projects. So I think Shahzad has lots of things on his hands.
Yeah,
Planning
right.
Lots of things.
Yeah, I have a lot of things right now. There are certain things in the panel which is lined up, looked up. Let's see, hoping for the best. I have spoken to my investors. A lot of people are ready to help me. But it's just, I'm not worried. But the scenario is so bad right now. Even if I want to open a restaurant, I can't open a restaurant. It's like that.
Right.
Like recent, and for next month, I've just taken my first event of the year. It's a Navjot, which I'm doing in Baikala. And the limit is 200 people here. So where we do around 1200 people, 800 people, now we have come to 200 people. So it's like, little bit annoying, but it's okay. It's part of life. So we keep moving on.
No, it's not annoying. Shailen.
And definitely you will soon see Cafe Forever also a little bit change. We are just sitting in the cafe. It's a very simple cafe, but I really want to get little bit on a still authentic way of my presentation, authentic way of sitting, arrangements. We are looking, and definitely I have an project which I want to do it in Bombay or wherever I get chance, Pune, Bombay, Delhi, wherever. But I would definitely take Cafe Forever somewhere for sure.
I think Hilda ma'am is far more optimistic. Please.
No, but the brand, but the best part is, what we have decided. I'll be very honest. Like we don't want to prolong like other cafes or something. It's started with Hila and Shahzad, and we want to end with Hila and Shahzad. We just don't want to take the legacy ahead. So the brand taste gets changed. The brand, the taste gets changed, and people say, "Arey nahi, pehle aisa deta tha, ab aisa milta hai," So we don't want that to happen.
Well, Shahzad, if you expand to other cities, then isn't that a concern? That, I mean, how would you divide your time between, let's say, if you
Right
had
now, also I'm dividing my time between Cafe and Mumbai. It's the same thing.
Okay.
But yes, definitely I have a team. I have a big team lined up with me, but they are also asking me, but I've just not said a word to anyone right now. I'm just waiting what we can do. Let the things come to me, and then I can take a call.
Keeping our fingers crossed there.
Just being quiet and just keep working.
Right. Vanchika, how's been your experience in the lockdown? Like Shahzad is saying that things haven't been too great and for some time. What's been with you?
So it obviously is not too great. It was not too great. We had to close together at 12. That's our first restaurant. My first restaurant. So we had to close that recently. But we opened Petite Pie shop, and this is getting a very good response. So that gave us some hope. I've also started 3 delivery brands together. It's for one is an Indian brand, one is a hot dog brand, one is a burger brand. We're keeping busy and trying to get as much business as possible, not saying no to anything, and just working as many hours in a day as possible, and then just sleeping a little bit. So that's what is the plan right now, to just do what we have to pivot our business plan according to the market, a lot. And let's see, just still keeping true to our values, still keeping true to using local, and not wasting, uh, because that is something that is very important to me, and to our team as well. So that is what is happening.
Is a recipe book, Banu recipe book on the anvil?
I'm still collecting a lot. There are a lot of recipes coming in from different parts of India, where everybody migrated to different cities. So it's all being documented. But let's see. It'll be a while before that happens. But I really want it to happen. It's in my list of things to do, for especially for as an ode to everybody who lost so much, and a gift to all the future generations.
All right. Should we open it up for if there are any questions, if anybody would like to?
Any questions anyone has? I don't think we have any questions.
Okay. Anything that you would like to say, Rashmi, before I close?
No, that's okay. It was an interesting session, and
Yeah.
I've always been very fond of these little known, or like we all know Dhansak. Dhansak is all most people know about Parsi cuisine, so it's always interesting to know more. And Banuwal was a discovery when we wrote the story, and I spoke
Yes.
to Vanshika's Nanaji also, and he told me so much about the Banuwal city. So it's been interesting, and this learning has continued with this webinar. I'm sure our readers would
Yeah.
also love to read more about them.
And I really hope that, both the cuisines will spread to other cities as well, so that others also get a chance to, have all these lovely, lovely dishes that we are hearing about.
I would love to serve you, as I told you before. I
Yes,
would love to
I
serve.
hope so.
Yeah, same here. Same.
It's interesting, yeah.
I'd love to
Yeah.
do a Banwal pop-up someday.
Yeah, actually, pop-ups are a good idea in Bombay and all. No, pop-ups will really work.
Pop-ups are happening a lot these days. It's just a little scary at the moment, but yeah.
No, do it with your chachi, so that'll be like good. She'll be there to give you support.
All right. I think it's been really interesting. Thank you all so much for taking time out and joining us today.
Thank you so
Urmila
much.
ma'am, Shehzad, Vanshika, and her aunt. And I hope everybody enjoyed, everybody who joined in. Thank you so much. And maybe we'll meet again in another webinar soon when we'll call back our celebrity chefs again.
We will be
For more
waiting for you to
interactions.
come. You have to come to my cafe.
Absolutely. Yes. As soon as this pandemic is over, we will definitely make a plan.
Definitely, definitely.
Yes. Thank
Thank
you so much for joining us.
Thank you all of you. Thank
Thank
you
you
all
all.
the participants.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.